Hey everybody, I'm Todd and this is Sweet Tea Guitars. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel and welcome to the Great Guitar Build Off 2023 and my scratch build entry. Alright you guys, we left off in the last video for the Ceres Theta. This is where our body was at. I've got my bevels cut. I need to finalize a few things. I got tons of sanding left to do. But before we can get started on any of that, I need to get these rear cavities routed. I've already marked out for my rear control cavity, and you guys can probably see where I've marked that out on there. Normally, I don't even put a cover over the spring cavity. I just leave that open. But if I end up selling this guitar, I at least want to ship the guitar with a spring cavity cover. I want that recessed. I don't want it to be a surface mounted cavity cover. So let's get started on this thing, you guys. I'm really excited about it. Thank you guys so much for all your killer comments that you've made about this guitar. We can mark out a new center line just for the back. And again, I left that maple strip down the middle at 20 millimeters. So we're going to mark this out in the center, 10 millimeters on each side. There we go. And we'll do the same thing down here. That looks really nice and centered. We're going to take a Forstner bit and go ahead and hog out the rest of this material down in the bottom of this mass block pass-through route right here. I can just take a 10 millimeter drill bit, go straight down through the center of this thing, use a bottom bearing router bit, stick it down through that hole, and I can clean this up. Then we'll know exactly where to line our rear spring cavity template up, and we can get that routed with no trouble at all. Alright you guys, so I've been over to the drill press and I've hogged this material down inside that mass block pass-through to within about 6 millimeters of being all the way through the body. I'm going to go ahead and take this body over to the drill press and hog out the material for our control cavity. Alright you guys, so we got our rear cavity hogged out. We're ready to go on that. I'm going to shave some of these points off right here with the chisel. Let's get that done. Now the bottom of that cavity is nice and clean. I've still got points from the Forstner bits, but only where I'm going to route all the way through. We can use the 12 millimeter, and then I can use a 3/8 bottom bearing bit to clean all that out. We will go slow though so we don't tear out anything majorly. So now we've got a nice hole in the back. This bit right here should fit right down through that hole. Alright you guys, let's get this template attached. I've already got the tape put down, we're burnished. I drew out where I want my cavity. I got my router depth set, and I've also thought about this, and my measurement needs to be 6 millimeters deeper than the template says, because my body's 6 millimeters thicker than a standard body would be. Steve's got all these templates based on a body thickness of 1 3/4 inches. This body's actually 2 inches thick to allow for the shelf on my control cavity cover, or not my control cavity, but my spring cavity cover. Same deal back here on this route. Instead of carrying that to 1.06 inches deep, which I've deemed to be about 27 millimeters, I actually need to go to about 32, 33 millimeters. We're at about 25.5 millimeters. I got plenty of wood left between my pickup cavity and the bottom of my spring cavity route. So we're in good shape. All right, let's get this done. Oh, I'll be able to make a nice cover out of this curly. This is gonna look so good. And this material is 7 millimeters exactly. So we're gonna route this cavity about 6.5 millimeters, and we'll catch that 1/2 mil when we go to sand out this body. Here we go. We'll clamp this down and get that route done. We're right at 6 millimeters, so we're gonna leave it just like it is. One spring cavity routed. Next, we're gonna cut the control cavity. So let me get set up for that. We'll come back and get that done. I'll be right back. All right, that looks good. The one thing I've forgotten to do the past 2 times I've routed a cavity with this template, I forgot to put this insert in, which caused me to have to go back and route the cavity larger. I'm not going to forget to do that this time. Let's put that insert in there. We'll go ahead and cut the shelf on here. All right, you guys, there we go. Let's pop a 2 millimeter bit in our drill and drill us a pilot hole through there, and then I'll put the guitar in the vise and we'll drill a 7/8. All right, let's grab our 7/8 FAMAG bit. Look how clean of a hole that thing cuts. I mean, it's perfect. Even on the inside, there's no tear out. We should go ahead and drill a wiring path. I bought a new bit for this. This is a 5/16 diameter Milwaukee bell hanger bit. There's our hole. Right there, nice and wide. I always wait to the last minute to do that, and sometimes I end up really worried that I'm going to screw up my finish with it. But now all our wiring paths are drilled. I think we should probably make these cavity covers really quick. What we need to do now is hop over to the bandsaw and cut these out to within a couple of millimeters of the line. Then we can come back over here, mount our templates to these pieces, run them across the router table, get those cleaned up, and that'll be done. There's my 2 covers. All right, you guys, I started thinking about it. I don't have to fire up the router table for this. We can just clamp our trim router down to the table and go with it. So let's do that. Okay. All right, you guys, we're back in the shop. Tonight's Wednesday, September the 5th. And I was thinking last night, I kept telling you guys I'm about to put color on this guitar, and I want to do that, but I feel like I may be rushing it just a little. I think what I need to do is glue this neck in first. So let's pan down here, and there's a couple of things I need to do. I need to drill my tremolo post holes in here, and they're marked already. I've checked them with the protractor and they're right. Let's get our bridge out and measure the diameter of the post. We're at 9.44 on the unknurled surface. We're at 10.14 on the knurled surface. That means we can use a 10 millimeter drill bit for these. We need to do a little work to this heel before we can even think about gluing this neck into the body. It's about 2 millimeters too thick, and I'm closer on the bridge end than I am where the end of the fretboard's at, which means the back of my heel is high. So I've marked all this up with a pencil. I've got my little Bridge City HP8 block plane right here. Oh yeah. Let's get this thing glued in. We'll get some glue down in here. Let me grab my silicone brush over here. Yeah. All right, that looks really, really good. Let's put one more clamp on there to make certain that we got plenty of pressure. We're in good shape, you guys. When I get home tomorrow, we'll start carving out that heel on the back. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, you guys, when we left off the other night, I had glued the neck into the body. So we're ready to take these clamps off and start getting the back of this heel transition shaped up. So let's get that done. So let's just pop these clamps off and see what kind of results we got here. All right, looks good. One more thing I want to do before we start carving this neck transition is the other night I had told you guys after I made these two cover plates that we were going to go ahead and mark these out, which I've already got the control cavity cover ready. We need to mark out our spring cavity cover, get it marked up for where we want to drill it, and I want to show you guys this plan that I've got and a method I've got for attaching my cover plates on all my guitars. I found these carbon steel threaded metal inserts on Amazon. These are M4. They're like rivets. Rivet nuts is what I think they're called. I'll scrape the side of it to key it up a little bit and glue that in with some super glue. We'll make sure it's got a nice tight fit as well. But I think using these in the body and then a pan head, this is a hex head bolt, or an Allen head. I think this is going to look pretty cool if I recess this down into the cover. All right, now our marks are made. We know exactly where to put our lines. If you can see that over the top of all that wicked curl. There we are, 6 punches. So here's what we're going to do. I've got an 8 millimeter drill bit because I've measured the heads, and the heads are right at 7 millimeters. Well, I want to give myself a little bit of play. I'm going to mount up this 8 millimeter over in the drill press. We'll drill the large hole first, then we'll go to a 5 millimeter bit and drill out for the actual shaft size, which is right at 4 millimeters. So I want myself to have, I want a little slop in there. And drilling the large hole first is going to give us a center point right in the dead center of that recess that we can follow. All right, you guys, so there's our holes all the way through. Nice. Really cool. I'm happy about that. Cover's complete. Last night we got our bushings installed, or our threaded metal inserts as they would be known normally. I got those installed for my cover plate attachment method. What we need to do now, we need to carve this neck hill and get this transition figured out like we want it. So I'm going to start by removing that material that I've got left on the back of my neck hill, and then we'll start to ramp this down right in here to make that a smooth, seamless transition. That's my goal anyway. So let's get straight back into it. While I'm thinking about it, let's put a piece of tape on here just to protect us. We'll put a couple of pieces of tape actually. We're going to start on the volute at this point. There's our volute. Nice and smiley like I like them. And there's our neck transition. Nice and fluid like I like it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is Sunday, September the 10th. I've decided I'm going to put a headstock cap on this guitar, and I've already got a piece of wood right here cut and ready to be mounted. We're going to have to get out the drum sander though and thickness this down to about 4 millimeters thick. I'm so glad I got this thing, you guys. This has saved me so much trouble. We're at 3.5 millimeters thick now, so that's about perfect. And I was honestly thinking about putting a piece of black line veneer in between that. Actually, I might do a black, white, black. I mean, after all, you know, this is the Great Guitar Build-Off, so why not go all out? All right, you guys, let's get this thing done. I'm ready. Black first. White's next. Black one more time. And then our cap. Start up here right off of our volute. Let's pull these clamps off of here now. It's been about 5 hours since I clamped this down. So there we go. Now obviously I got to straighten that out. So we're going to take the router and get as much of this routed away as we can. We'll see how it performs. All right, you guys, here she is, the Ceres Theta. I know I said last week that I was going to get some color on this guitar this week, but I ran into a couple of obstacles that I was not planning on. First of all, I didn't know at the time that I was going to cap this headstock, but the more I thought about it and the more I looked at this top, the more I thought the headstock needed a cap. A couple of you guys have commented that you thought it needed a headstock cap, and I started thinking about it and I was like, yeah, I think it does too. I am going to stain this headstock to match the body. I think it's going to be beautiful. This guitar is getting all black nickel or Cosmo black hardware. I really appreciate all the comments you guys have left about this guitar. It makes me feel really great to know that I'm not moving forward on something that you guys aren't necessarily impressed by. So thank you so much for all the killer comments you guys have left. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You guys fuel my passion. I say that because it's the truth. We're going to get this guitar finished shortly. Don't forget to head over to Gio's channel. Check out his videos. Tornella Guitars here on YouTube. He's starting a new build, so I'm sure he's going to be posting a video shortly. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date as I release the rest of the videos for the Ceres Theta, which is my entry for the Great Guitar Build Off Scratch Build category this year. Don't forget to leave me some comments, hit that like button. I'll see you guys in the next video, and as always, peace and love.